sticking to the UK, we wanted to talk very briefly about an event, I suppose, or like a happening in the scene that riled a lot of feathers. So, earlier in the month, UK rapper ENNY, who burst onto the scene in 2020 with her song "Peng Black Girls," which was then remixed with Georgia Smith, accomplished MC in her own right. She's collaborated with obviously Georgia Smith. She's collaborated with Lil Kana, Mick Jenkins, to name a few. She caused a bit of a stir earlier in the month when she posted a video to her Instagram announcing that she was quitting music to launch her own cleaning business. The cleaning business in question was called Peng Black Girls Cleaning Services after her breakout song. And yeah, the scene very much reacted in the way that they would. Very, very sad to hear that ENNY had was quitting the game, or had lost her passion for the game, as she basically shared in her video. And the general feeling was that the game had lost a real one. Someone who was very purposeful with her raps, very purposeful with her music. You could very much foul her in the same kind of camps as a Kofi Stone, in terms of like her output and what she talks about and what she raps about, the general feel of it. So yeah, the game was very much mourning her kind of quitting the game and moving on to greener pastures. She created a Instagram page for the Peng Black Girls cleaning service. And she was releasing like videos and visuals, basically talking about the venture, the new venture. And then a little later, turned out that it was all a ruse, and the retirement, quote unquote, was part of the rollout for her latest single, Selfridges. And all of the videos and the visuals pertaining to her cleaning service was all in promotion for that song. And yeah, it divided the scene. It was very much a case of people thinking, this was really great, / I'm glad this is not true because, we're really happy to have you back in the game or to have you still in the game. And then others were like, this was dead. This was corny. You didn't need to do this. Why on earth would you do something like that? So I guess what we want to do today is kind of just break down this whole saga, how we feel about it. Was it the right move? Is this the type of moves that artists now need to resort to in order to like breathe life into their music, into their career? Peter, you seem to have a very strong opinion of this. What did you think of the whole rollout? Because there was a lot of chirping in the group chat.
I thought it was corny. I didn't really understand why anybody would do that. Why would you punk fake like that? I just couldn't understand like why you would do that. Like, especially as, as consumers, we all took it quite seriously. I couldn't wrap my brain around why you would pretend to retire to then not retire all for a rollout. Like I just thought it was corny, man. I think it just calls into question like a lot of credibility as far as like what these artists say and do. Um, I think fundamentally, I don't think it's going to have a negative impact on, you know, people listening to her music and stuff. But I think it just calls into question like how seriously we take artists and what they say and what they do. I think her doing things like that is probably part of some ecosystem where there are artists that do and say certain things just as part of a rollout or just for some sort of attention, man. And I just think the whole thing is corny, man. I just did not agree with it. Um, and I just didn't really understand it. That was my stance. That's still my stance, man. I take my artists very seriously. I take the art very seriously. Um, I can appreciate that, you may be trying to be creative in rolling something out. I can hold that, but I can also hold at the same time me as a consumer not feeling like you need to do that. Like, just roll it out. That's how I need to pretend to fall back for us to listen to your song or as part of some wider, bigger picture that you think you need to present to us. Like the whole thing was just corny to
I hear it. Mo?
I agree. I just think it's very corny, the whole retired and then to come back 7 days later. But in her defense, is this just a 2025 version of what rappers used to do back in the day when they go on retiring and then they won't retire?
No. It's
Why is it
not.
different?
It's not. Bro, how many
I'm just
rappers
asking, why?
how many rappers did we hear say I'm retiring and didn't retire.
Mace,
Mace retired,
and then he come back,
and
so
then
he didn't retire.
he came back years later. There's nothing wrong with making the decision to step away from music for X amount of time and actually following and following through with that, and then feeling like, you know what, now I'm ready to re-enter. I don't have an issue with that. The issue I have is if you say I'm going to retire today, and then you drop, and it's part of some sort of big rollout for you to drop something in like a month or so. I just think that's corny as hell.
No, so this was the point I was getting at. I agree with you because of the time length. I think when you do it, it's premeditated when you do it in 7 days, and it's like, yo, whatever. I think that's corny, innit? Maybe Mace ain't the best example, but I've seen you rappers use "I'm retiring" as a. She ain't the first person to do this "I'm retiring" gimmick. Is all I'm saying. She ain't the first. She ain't gonna be the last. In my opinion, she's done it in the new format of TikTok and Insta because that's the world we live in today. But we've lived in a time where rappers have gone, yo, this is my last album. After this, I'm out of here, and then they come back with Kingdom Come. So we've seen it. We've seen people do this, is what I'm saying, essentially. Obviously, I agree with you, Pete, because there's years. If I say I'm retiring and I come back in 5 years' time, clearly I'm meant at a time, whereas hers is 7 days. But I'm more so talking about, I think in her mind, she's not doing anything different to what rappers previously have done. But all around, I agree with you. I don't rate it. I don't like it. I don't like the idea of garnishing attention. Garnishing, that's a big word, Yemi. Attention this way. I just think it's corny. I think it's cheap. I think it's easy.
Garner.
What did I say? Garnishing. Oh, I said garnishing.
You were cooking too.
Oh, I said.
I didn't want to.
I wasn't gonna correct. I wasn't gonna correct
Bro.
you. I wasn't gonna correct you. I was gonna let you have it.
Oh,
But then he called. But then he called me out.
I was cooking, Pete. I wasn't even cooking, bro. Wallahi, bro. I was mixing.
You were garnishing,
bro.
You were garnishing.
You were microwaving. You were microwaving, bro.
Pete. This is why I get in trouble, man. You know, wallahi. You know, it was a heat check. That one just happened right now was a heat check in real time.
Hey, man.
Sorry, man.
It's all good.
And I went wrong. But anyway, I say that to say, yeah, like Shayna, I just don't like it. I think it's a very, very easy formula, innit, is what I'm saying. I think it's a cop out. It's not a cop out, but it is a cop out. It's a very easy formula to say, because you know what's going to happen. You know the backlog, you know what you're going to get after. You know the ramifications of, you know the noise that is going to happen. Like, we just know what's going to happen. So, do I rate it? No. I just, giving her the benefit of the doubt, I just genuinely, in my mind, I just think what she's doing is just a 2025 version of what people previously have done. Whether we agree with what they've done previously and whether they disappeared for years, I don't think she's the first or the last person that's going to do it. I just don't agree with it personally, innit? Yeah?
Listen, I am not ashamed to say that I believed her. I believed what she was saying because it felt sincere.
We all believed her, man.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there'll be some people that will say, no, you could tell all along. Like, and even when we did like posting for it, one of our followers was like, well, why is she doing the video in the studio? Sort of thing. And that's when I first was like, you know what? Yeah, you're actually right. Because why would that happen, sort of thing? Do I have like strong emotions or strong opinions about this? I guess not. Like, it is, I mean, listen, it's never nice to be bamboozled or fooled, right? But I guess I am kind of indifferent to it because I feel like if I'm going to like empathize with her a little bit, I don't think she actually realizes A, how big her fan base is, and B, how they would react to such a statement like that. Clearly it was like a misjudgment, right? I feel like when you're in your own bubble as an artist, especially someone like her who is a black woman, and is an MC and, you know, hasn't been in the scene for very long, hasn't released a whole lot, but obviously had a little bit of buzz throughout that. You maybe lose sight about, you know, who you're reaching. This was a good example for her and a good lesson for her to really like understand just how people feel about her and what people think about her. The actual like rollout itself, I mean, it definitely didn't need like a retirement angle. I feel like even without the retirement angle, if you started promoting something called Paying Black Girls Cleaning Services and then you had the trailer, it would have worked just as effectively, if not more, sort of thing. Now, obviously, the retirement angle makes people want to talk about it more, and maybe it probably translated to more streams of Selfridges, which, you know, if that's the case, then mission accomplished. But I don't think it was necessary, and I don't think it was something that she needed to resort to. I feel like she's in circles where she knows that at least culturally speaking, she is of some kind of relevance. So I don't think she would have lost anything by not retiring or full retiring, in order to achieve that. But yeah, man, it's just, I guess nowadays, like, artists do sometimes feel like they do need to resort to like these type of measures to garner attention. We're in the attention economy, right? Attention spans are at an all-time low. So how am I going to get people's attention? Okay, let me say something drastic. Let me do something drastic. And then kind of keep it moving. And, the amount of think pieces that I've kind of seen on TikTok about this, pro and con, shows that it was worth it. And I think she's now only realizing how appreciated she is because of this. And obviously I don't want to speak for her, but maybe there were doubts. I don't know. Like, if it was a genuine desire to kind of like drum up interest for the song, then fine. But I can't help but feel like it's something deeper there. And I hope that throughout all this, she's been able to like really realize how much value she holds, so that she doesn't have to do stuff like this again. And she can kind of keep it moving and keep the attention on the music as opposed to what she's doing. Which, obviously you kind of have to play the game as an artist whenever you can or whenever you need to, but I kind of just chalked it down to that, really. So I'm kind of indifferent to it now. I guess now I've had a bit of time to kind of chill with it and like really sit with it and listen to the song. I mean, the song, it was cool, but I would have expected like,
it wasn't worth the retirement.
I would have, yeah, I guess I would have wanted something grander, something a bit more like, I don't know, something that was worth all this. Not to say it's a bad song. It's just like a typical ENNY song, I'd say. Like, if it was something different, then maybe I'd be like, okay, I can see it a bit more. But I just feel like, yeah, it wasn't needed, but I get it, sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, if this is what artists have to do, I mean, I don't know how you man feel, but maybe it's a little sad. I'm not sure.
But they don't. But they don't know. I don't think they do though. Why do we feel like they need to do this? There are so many, like, promotion is not a new concept. Like, garnering attention for your art is not a new concept, particularly in the music industry. So I don't understand why this particular method is one that maybe artists feel like they need to do. I don't think they've ever needed to do that. Even when Jay did it. When Jay did it, he did it. But he retired, right? When Mace did it, he did it. Mace didn't pump fake and say, yo, I'm retiring and then I'm not retiring. These men actually stepped away. I don't know many. I know Game did it. Game's done it a few times. When he did it, I said the same thing. I thought it was corny as well. Said he was retiring and dropped an album the same year. Thought very corny. I just don't think that method, that particular method, has something artists have ever needed to do, man. As part of your press, and even if you just look at press runs in general, man, like if you just look at the way clips have done it as well, like it just makes me pay more attention to the fact that like your press run and your promotion just has to be interesting. To garner that attention, you just have to find an interesting way to pull people in. That's all it is, man. It just means more creativity. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be lazy with it and like, fake a retirement. That's my view anyway.
Sorry to cut in real quickly, Mo. And I guess, yeah, to the point of creativity, I feel like paying black girls cleaning service as a concept is very creative. Independent of,
I think it's dope. I think it's dope, actually.
Independent of, all the retirement stuff, like even the concept, the video and stuff, like that's cool. Like we have artists that do that stuff. Like we saw, obviously fucking now, but Diddy, like all of his concepts for his videos back in the day, like he didn't need to retire to do any of that. You know what I'm saying? Like from Bad Boy for Life, where he's just like he's just in a house party and Benson knocks on the door, like, yo, keep the noise down. Like that stuff is creative. You didn't need to retire, sort of thing. So I kind of see it in the same vein, sort of thing. So I agree. I think creativity like kind of wins overall. But to the point of Jay, very, very quickly, obviously Black Album 2003. He then features on The College Dropout the year after. He then features on Late Registration the year after. And then the next year, he's back with Kingdom Come. Was that really a retirement?
Yes.
Royalty.
Yes, it was. It was a retirement because... Sorry. It was a retirement because he said he was retiring from making studio albums. That doesn't speak to features. There have been a few rappers that said, yo, man, after this one, I'm done. Styles P's retiring from making studio albums. Scarface, once upon a time, said he was retiring from making studio albums. But they still appeared on features. I think that's different.
Interesting.
I understand where you're coming from. I just don't know if I agree. I think he definitely pump faked the retirement. I think the game pump faked the retirement. I don't think you need to do it. I just think it's a tale of, what is it? Taylor's of old something.
Taylor's oldest time.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Yemi. That's why I need you sometimes. Yeah, it's a Taylor's all the time. I don't think it's going to change. I think rappers are going to do this. And I think sometimes we just don't understand their psyche. Like, you don't understand if they do feel like they're just not getting the traction that they want. We don't know any psyche. She just might have felt like, I'm just not getting the response. Do you know what I mean? Like, we will just never understand their mindset.
It probably
In our
wasn't even
mind-
that deep. It probably wasn't even
I'm not
that
saying
deep. I reckon it was probably just as simple as, yo, man, I'm gonna roll this
Just
thing
for
out.
banter.
I'm gonna pretend I'm retiring and see how people react. It's gonna bring. I think it was probably as simple as that.
Yeah, like, we won't understand their psyche at all.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm just not a fan of it. I've come to expect rappers to do it here and there, and I've kind of somewhat accepted it. Someone retired and come back with Kingdom Come, and that stunk. But sorry, I mean, do your thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we have become, and this is because of the rappers, we've probably become desensitized to this idea of rappers doing these grand gestures. So when it does happen, it's like, okay, cool, it's going to start a conversation. But because we've seen that there's precedence for this, it's not that deep. Like, if we didn't have the Jay example, if we didn't have the Styles example, and then ENNY did this, then maybe it'd be like, wow, like, whoa. But because we have that, it's a bit like, okay, I kind of see what you're trying to do. It's in this context sort of thing. So, I think that just speaks to the idea of like artists kind of pushing that, but pushing those boundaries a bit. And I guess you can then, whatever you want, however you want to describe it, playing with the fans or like, in a good way or a bad way, like it's up to you. But ultimately, it got people talking. And I hope that it was able to then get her to generate more streams for the project. As a matter of fact, let me even check her Spotify streams for this. Because that will be very telling up again. I mean, it's only been out not very long, but even still, like, you'd think, okay, it's on 310,000 streams.
It done its job.
self-addressed.
It done its job.
I guess so, yeah. I mean, listen, her most popular song is Pen Black Girls Remix with Georgia Smith. So that was always going to be the most popular one. But yeah, I mean, listen, I hope it did what it was supposed to do for her, man. And I hope that then means that we do get more from her. Like, even before then, like, we hadn't heard anything from her really since 2023. So hopefully this now gives her the kick that she needs to like push forward with that. But to that point, very, very quickly, because obviously she had in kayfabe, she had this kind of like side hustle now of like doing like having like a cleaning service. So let's just play a bit of a game, a kayfabe game.
Kayfabe.
Like, if you think about UK rappers and you think about potential side hustles that they could have,
Mm.
who would you say would have what kind of side hustle would you say like any UK rapper would have? So for
A
example,
side hustle or another job? Actually,
side
say an
hustle, another
example.
job,
Sorry.
side hustle, another job, could be whatever. So for example, I feel like Stormzy would be a youth pastor.
Wallahi, and I'm not even just saying wallahi to this. Stormzy pastor is the one that came to my head, which is why I asked, a side hustle or another job?
Mm.
Could be either.
Like, generally, Stormzy's pastor was the one that I automatically thought of.
I think I think Giggs would be interesting as a documentary voiceover character.
You know what? I hear it.
I think it'd be really interesting.
I'm not mad at
I
that.
I hear that. I hear that.
I think we've got a few people that could do voiceovers. You know that? I think we've got a few here that could do voiceovers.
I feel like J Hus could be like a translator, but for like the UN, where he has
Wait,
to
what?
translate, So let's just say like Keir Starmer takes him. Hang on. Let's just say like Keir Starmer takes him on like a secret envoy to like, I don't know, the Gambia, right? And then he has to, and then he has to translate stuff like Bunsam, Juju J to like to Keir Starmer so he can understand the locals a bit more. I feel like J Hus would cook with that.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of one. What do I have?
I think Dave could be like a detective because he's always so like incisive with like what he talks about and how he talks about it. I feel like he'd be a very good detective.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad. I'm actually not mad at that. I can't lie.
I can see that.
Definitely could be Border Patrol.
What?
Okay.
Devlin could be Border Patrol.
Interesting.
Professor Green could be a professor.
Of what? Okay. Okay, we're giving Professor Green way too much credit there. But first, no, big up him. He's important to
Trying to think
someone.
who else. I reckon I can't say what I was gonna say.
I think Little Sims could be like an art curator or like an art dealer.
I can
She'd be
see
good at that.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. I can see that.
Oh, final words on ENNY?
Salute to you, man. Salute to you, Queen.
Yeah, man. Listen, you didn't need to do it, man. We love your music. We're here for you. We're here for the music, man. We're always gonna be here for the music.
Yeah. Listen, hopefully, I hope it was successful for her, and I hope she realizes now that playing with your fans, you play with your fans at your peril, basically, because it might not always be what you think it's gonna be. So, yeah, that's all. Just be mindful. That's all. But shout out to ENNY, man. Listen, she's needed. She's needed in this scene, man, especially as it continues to grow.